next week, the Rotary Resurgo is going to have a public dialogue on inclusion in New Brunswick. Here to talk to us about it is their Secretary-elect, J.C. Kerpan. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
So this is the second time you guys are having this public dialogue, this kind of neat format. Tell us about this format and why you guys decided to go back to this.
Sure. So the format is basically you have 4 panelists and a facilitator, and you will also have members of the public who've bought tickets to come and watch and participate. The idea is that there's dialogue not only between the facilitator and the expert panelists, but the public also has a chance to have their say, to contribute to the conversation. As a club, Rotary Resurgo, we realize that there aren't a lot of public dialogue options for challenging issues. So we thought, why not allow experts and public to come together?
Well, that's what's really interesting. You guys try to keep it kind of both sides kind of balanced, or at least get some good, strong voices on the subject. I think the last time you did it, you talked about bilingualism.
That's right.
Which is obviously still a touchy subject in these parts. So yeah, I think that's really neat how you're able to bring in experts on the subject, but then still allow the public to have their say.
That's right. So we do remain neutral in that, which is why we have a facilitator who asks open-ended questions for the panelists to answer as they see fit. The club hosts, and whatever happens, happens. Obviously, we try to keep things civil.
It's not an all-out brawl, I suspect?
Not yet. Maybe our 3rd annual, but we'll see.
Well, we're going to be airing it on Rogers TV, so maybe I want the brawl just for the ratings. No.
Awkward.
Yeah. Oh, God. This time, you're tackling the subject of inclusion, which is obviously kind of timely, given that in the last several months, 4 to 6 months now, we've had a big influx of Syrian refugees come in. And obviously inclusion is still just an issue when you look at it in any way. So I guess why this topic this time around?
So it's a topic that's really near and dear to the club's heart. Rotary Resurgo's mission statement: we exist to promote a more inclusive New Brunswick and to empower future leaders. And last time, the aspect of inclusion was specifically linguistic oriented. This time, we'd actually just started discussing this even before the refugee movement happened, and it was just concretized once we heard there were, 350 to 500 newcomers coming all in one fell swoop. And so in this way, New Brunswick being an inclusive place is an important thing according to the provincial government, according to many municipal governments. And so in order to more deeply discuss this issue, this is why we chose the topic this year.
It's really fascinating because, I mean, inclusion it's a broad topic, but it goes in so many different levels. I think we were talking about it earlier today when I mentioned that inclusion starts at the school level. You can feel being included or excluded depending on your friends or cliques and things like that. And it's obviously something that more and more now when you look at programs that try to curb bullying in the school level. But really when you look at that, bullying, that kind of thing, you can almost boil that down to inclusion. So we're talking about a subject that people have been dealing with really for a long time.
Sure.
Everybody kind of has felt that.
For their entire lives, yeah, be you local or from away, be you a linguistic minority, visible minority, disabled, socially, economically disadvantaged, any number of things. All of these are aspects of inclusion. And so we've chosen actually 4 panelists who represent 4 particular areas. It was very difficult to choose because we could have gone a myriad of directions. So we went from the direction of newcomers and immigration, from the private entrepreneurial economic perspective, on marginalized communities, which can be socially, linguistically, etc., and as well from the Aboriginal perspective.
Oh, absolutely. That's excellent. Really a big swath of the population there. And so let's look at it specifically, who the guests are.
Okay, first of all, our facilitator is our new mayor, Dawn Arnold, mayor of Moncton. And so she will be facilitating the dialogue between them and asking the questions, remaining neutral. We have Sima Eskandarizand, who is currently the HR and education coordinator at Olton College. She was born in Iran, spent time in Sweden where she did her MBA, and now has a very important role in our private education system. So she would be representing the a newcomer perspective and what it's like to actually live the immigrant's experience. We have Yves Bourgeois, who comes from a very diverse background, currently director of the Center for Innovation and Productivity, adjunct professor at UNB, and has done research in a wide variety of topics, including city planning, immigration, and is in particular keen to discover more about disruptive technologies and how that can change a society. And his resume goes on and on and on. Claudette Bradshaw is representing the marginalized communities. She is a former MP, has been Minister of pretty much everything. So the status
we
of
love
women,
Claudette around here.
status of women and multiculturalism, Minister of Literacy and Aboriginal Skills Training. She's been the coordinator for Mental Health Commission of Canada, social housing. She's been involved with fetal alcohol research, nonprofits, et cetera, et cetera. Claudette Bradshaw, she is everywhere.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, she's yeah.
We're honored to have her on.
Fantastic, fantastic woman. If anybody has a chance to meet her, it's just an absolute pleasure.
Well, they will at the dialogue.
There you go.
And fourthly, DJ Joseph, representing the Aboriginal First Nations perspective. He's currently the band manager at Elsipogtog Mi'kmaq First Nation. And one of his big tasks right now is pursuing the economic development of his band. And so for them, it's social inclusion and economic inclusion of Aboriginals in our province. So these four have a great amount of experience, and we're honored to have all of them with us.
Absolutely. And quite a coup to get Don Arnorld to be the facilitator, the new mayor of Moncton. That's fantastic.
He snuck in under the wire before the election.
Oh, nice. Sign here before the election's over. I love it. Great guests there lined up, I have to say. That sounds excellent. And one of the things that I find really interesting is that you're going to be able to look at inclusion. Obviously, when you think about it, you think about immigrants coming in and different cultures, but there's also that socioeconomic aspect of it, looking at homelessness and things like that. What a big topic to discuss, though.
We could have 17,000 dialogues on this topic, it is a huge topic, and that one evening won't be enough to cover all of the bases. Our goal is to get dialogue started, get people talking, and get people feeling more comfortable talking about this, as well as getting people educated on the issues and feeling like their voices can be heard and matter.
And of course, open to the public. Tickets on sale right now.
On sale, find them at Eventbrite. There are links on our Facebook page and our web page. Tickets are $25 for the public or $20 for Rotarians from any Rotary Club. And you can also stream it live at jinglelive.com. The links to that is also at our Facebook page and web page.
Perfect.
So even if you can't make it, you can see it.
Absolutely. And if you are there as a member of the public, do you have to participate, or can you just be there as a viewer? Oh,
absolutely. You can be there as a viewer. So the idea is there are a number of tables set up. So you sit at a table with a number of others, probably strangers, maybe some you know, and you can participate in the discussion or not as you wish. You can take the mic and voice your opinion or not as you wish.
Excellent, very cool. And of course, this acts as a Rotary Resurgo fundraiser. And you guys do lots of cool stuff in the community. Multiple Rotary clubs always do. So where are these funds going?
So our initiatives right now have a lot to do with the empowering future leaders part. Now this can be one of two sides. It can be some emerging youth at, say, the high school level who are already showing signs of being leaders, and to put them through workshops and such as the Rotary Young Leadership Award, in order to kind of facilitate those skills and grow those skills. Or it can be for disadvantaged or at-risk youth to help them feel included and to help them discover their talents and see their choices.
Well, that's fantastic. I love the fact that the Rotary Club, and even as you mentioned in the mission statement, it's a way of empowering the community and finding new leaders to kind of come on and become the next generation of people that will kind of go on and lead the community to prosperity.
Which is interesting because Rotary Resurgo itself was born as a club out of that idea. The Rotary Club was seen to have an aging demographic, and so Rotary said, okay, we need to refresh. And there were some discussions, and we decided, yeah, Rotary Resurgo, Resurgo meaning we rise again, focuses in particular on younger leaders.
Fantastic. Well, always good stuff there. The event is June 15th. Where's it being held again?
It's going to be held at Legends Restaurant, which is in the Coliseum, in the back entrance C.
Fantastic. Very good stuff, Jesse. Always a pleasure having you on.
Always
Appreciate
a pleasure
it.
to be had.
Thanks for coming on.